Grow Great is a city government leadership podcast with Lisa Norris and me, Randy Cantrell. Each week we share insights, experiences, and wisdom to help you and your leadership grow great. Our website is growgreat.com.
I was talking to another peer, an HR person, and they were asking me kind of, well, how do you, we were talking about how do you take care of yourself under all the stress? Because we were just talking about the stress of our daily jobs and trying to solve things and trying to always work. Our roles in city government are always helping others, right? Especially in HR, you're always trying to serve others and you're investing your energy in the success of other people. And the question came up, well, how do you take care of yourself? That's an interesting
Are we going to
question.
call this the hypocritical episode?
Yeah.
where we preach one thing and we practice something very
That's right.
very
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So, and I was talking before we hit record. I was telling Randy that I was, we've been working on this Workday implementation. If you don't know Workday, we're moving from a 20-year-old HR, payroll, procurement, financial, timekeeping. I mean, all of this is a 20-year-old system that is very, very old and very not technical. We in a huge city, we have things that are done on paper and Excel routinely because the system just can't do it. So we're moving to this major upgrade, and it's a lot of work. I'm the executive sponsor over it, trying to monitor the entire project and all. We've got about 50, 60 city staff on it and about 20 implementers, specialists or consultants on it. Well, all that to be said, it's a lot of hours. It's been probably 12 and 14-hour days since October.
And no curveballs, just smooth, placid.
Oh, yeah, it's smooth sailing, of course, yes.
Yeah.
There's been just nothing going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway.
All's going perfectly as planned.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's just trying to keep the train on the track, and us, our city staff are holding onto the rails in the back, kicking up our, feet, dragging it along dragging along the rocks. Trying to hang on for dear life. And so it's been a huge navigation. And in recent, probably the last month and a half, I started having some health issues. Not sure if it's stress, not sure if it's new medication I was on, not sure if it's heart. But it's happened several times. And as you go through these things, I'll get to that in a minute, but as you go through all of these things over time, I did not do this well in my younger years. Younger years being probably 45 and under, because I was going up the career chain and doing whatever it takes. And sometimes family suffered, and sometimes the kids, I couldn't make their events. But as I've aged, and as I have life experience, and as I've learned wisdom from others like Randy, from my spouse, from leaders that I trust, they would constantly encourage me that you have to take care of yourself. You've got to make time for yourself. And so I've done a much better job since my late 40s and I'm 57 now, really trying to do things for myself, which one is hunting. I started taking off, regardless, I'd take off a week or 2 weeks in the fall and just spend time with Dawn and hunting, whether we hunted or not, or whether I just slept. And I made that mandatory. I was like, I'm taking it off. I don't care how busy it is. I'm taking off time for me. Didn't take off much during the year. And then I've started this last year with the project. I started kind of going back to what I love, which is arts and crafts type things or puzzles. And puzzles I call as mindless. And I've started building puzzles that I absolutely love. And it's all scenery, like Randy, like I love. It's all lake houses,
nature
canoes,
stuff.
fires, things like that. Scenic, just outdoorsy type of stuff. Yeah. Not beach. I'm much more woodsy, canoes, lakeside, kind of like that. And I've learned to do that, and just being present with Dawn, because I always say, babe, do you mind if I go puzzle? And he goes, no, you're physically here, because we're super close. Randy, if the listeners are new, my husband and I'm blessed to have a relationship where we just love being together after we're going on 38 years. And so puzzles are so, I just do it at night because my mind races. I have to take sleep aids at night to even settle down to go to sleep. Randy just doesn't sleep. He just chooses not to.
Yeah.
But
Vampire hours.
but when you talk about self-care, I go in and do the puzzle for like an hour and it's just, I don't know.
When you're doing the puzzle, can you think about anything else but
I don't
the puzzle?
think of anything. There's nothing in my
head. Yeah, that's the benefit, I would think.
And it just brings me down before bedtime.
Right.
Where I'm just doing puzzle and finding, I think of nothing. I'm serious. It's like a blank. Everything goes away. And I think on that, like reading does that for some people. I am not a reader. And then I love arts and crafts. And I did a one-woman show in high school of all my art stuff. But I had to stop because I had kids very young at 23 and on, right? And then you're raising 3 kids and that consumes every ounce of our time. But the kids 2 years ago, when we bought this new house and we're building it, Dawn said, I want to create an art room for you. Because I had all my stuff in a portfolio that I've had for years. And I started throwing it out. And Haley said, what are you doing? I said, well, this stuff has been sitting here for 25 years. She goes, I cannot believe you threw your art stuff away. She said, I would have taken your art stuff. But they bought me canvases. They bought me paints. They bought me professional brushes. And Don said, we're going to get you an art. And he got me this beautiful vintage like desk that had been redone.
Awesome.
And I'm not using it yet, right? We're kind of getting everything put together. It's been 2 years at the house, but it's just a process of trying to get everything. Well, recently I found a company that does custom paint by numbers. You send them a picture and they make it into a paint by number. And I'm doing the dogs.
There you go.
So I've got the dog. I'm doing one at a time to kind of see how it turned out.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing what I did puzzle one week, and now I'm doing the painting, and I just sit next to Don and just paint for maybe a half an hour. And again, that's all the TV could be going. I couldn't even tell you what he's watching.
Yeah.
But that self-care, I know I talked a lot, but self-care is critical because it does give you something to invest in yourself. And it almost has settled my mind to re-energize better for the next day. If I didn't do that, my mind is going 90 to nothing about what I have left to do, what I didn't get done, what I need to do tomorrow. And I will wake up at night 3 or 4 times thinking about that. And since I've started doing these little things right before bedtime, I'm much more settled and much more rested. I think it just brings my brain to a calm space where I can, my body can truly rest at night. And it's been invaluable. And then I've got a leadership team who recently said, stop, you cannot keep doing these 12-hour days. You cannot keep doing that. We need you here. We need you rested, and we need you on this project.
Yeah, well, they were afraid you were going to drop dead in the middle of this project. And they're like, wait a minute.
We don't want to do this.
Yeah. You have got to take care of yourself, girl.
Yeah. So, you appreciate when you've got people that truly do care for you. And I would have kept going, and I expect that of myself. It is not a demand or a burden. That's just the way I've worked forever, is I want to have good outcomes, and I want to have my name stamped on something that was worth it and that was positive. I don't really know how to fail, and I did not want that on this huge project. I know there's going to be challenges. There's going to be things that don't work right. It's too big not to have that. But generally speaking, at the end of the day, my hope is that they say, well done, Lisa. Well done. That will serve me well to have benefited for the city and help the people, not me, help the people achieve what they've been trying to accomplish in this new system. I want them to have smiles on their faces at the end of the day, knowing they did a good job too. It's not a reflection on Lisa specifically, but the project was successful for the city. But self-care is critical towards that.
But you've been focused. You've been focused on self-care, especially for your team. I remember when we first met, and you were the HR director. You've probably been more focused. From my perspective, it appeared to me that you were more focused on them taking care of themselves than maybe you taking care of yourself.
I would agree with that.
I mean, other than age and maturity and some wisdom and insight, I mean, was there? And obviously a health scare.
Yeah.
And sadly, an awful lot of us experience health scares that kind of scare us straight.
Yeah.
But was there something else? for you?
I think mainly I just knew I needed to do something because I was getting physically and mentally exhausted. I genuinely saw myself on a path that at one point I told my husband, I cannot keep doing this. I cannot. And as you age, unfortunately, your body doesn't hold up as well as it did in my 30s and 40s. The energy's not there. The endurance is not there. Recovering. If I push myself too hard, people typically get sick, which I do too. And then your body forces you to stop. Well, I don't want to get to that point. We got family history and all kinds of stuff. So I think it's knowing enough as we learn ourselves better. And then you've got my husband saying, you have got to figure, you need to, it's 7:00 now. It's getting later and later when I would get home, and I'd go in at 6, be here by 6:40 every morning, just trying to get stuff done. So I didn't let stuff slip, because my problem, Randy, is people depend on me, and I don't want to let people down. I want to do a good job by everybody that needs something from me. Like many of us, right? You want your reputation to be one that if somebody asks for something, you do a good job on whatever it is that they need, and you just get it done. And balance was becoming problematic.
So what advice do you have for our audience? What are some things that they should do or could do, in your opinion?
If you are in a place where the demands are high, the hours are long, which I think many of us in city government are, as we're lean, especially in these budget challenges, you have got to find a way first to care for your team and take care of them. That's my number one. I take care of them honestly first. Then as you're taking care of them, you have to live by example, which I wasn't doing very well. So I learned quickly, I also need to take care of myself, let them see I can take time off. And then lastly, when you're taking time off, do things that give you revitalization and re-energize you, whatever that means to you, something that you love to do that has an impact and truly lets you invest in yourself.
Thanks for watching and listening to Grow Great, the City Government Leadership Podcast. Our website is growgreat.com. For Lisa Norris, I'm Randy Cantrell. We hope you'll subscribe to the show, and we hope you'll tell a friend.